My name is Michael Schofield. My brother is facing the electric chair, framed for a crime he didn't commit. After his appeals were exhausted, I knew there was only one way to get him out.
You might remember Wentworth Miller, as he interpreted Michael Schofield, the main star of Prison Break, a character with autistic traits that went through adversities to save his older brother from unjust incarceration. The complexity of the character's mind, along with his 5-star production, sent the show to stardom practically overnight, becoming a remarkable series. But did you know Wentworth is autistic in real life, too?
Sorry.
Prison Break actor Wentworth Miller just added another title to his bio, autistic. Miller announced his adult diagnosis on Instagram yesterday, saying, "Autism is central to who I am."
I'm a middle-aged man, not a 5-year-old. Wentworth Miller caught everyone by surprise in an Instagram post last July 25th, as he shares being diagnosed with autism as an adult. The post was a photo of a blank square, where Miller starts off his caption with the words, "This fall marks 1 year since I received my informal autism diagnosis. It was preceded by a self-diagnosis, and then followed by a formal diagnosis. It was a long, flawed process in need of updating. I'm a middle-aged man, not a 5-year-old. His comments might have shocked the world, but not advocates of people with developmental disabilities, since they know there are currently no standard diagnostic criteria for adults with suspected ASD.
To get the diagnosis as an adult, it's almost a gift.
Gary Whiteson runs POAC, one of the largest autism parent groups in the country. His 27-year-old son, Chris, is also on the spectrum.
It's not like a 30-year-old can get the diagnosis and qualify for government services, but can they still get help and just fill in the pieces where, okay, maybe that's why I struggle with that.
Clinicians primarily diagnose adults with ASD through a series of in-person observations and interactions, and that might explain why he referred to the process as flawed. He also noted that access to a diagnosis is a privilege many do not enjoy. Growing up, I was a target. Even knowing these facts about ASD, some people might think that in the middle of a COVID pandemic that has taken away 209 million people, an autism diagnosis is not one of our society's biggest problems. But guess what? They're wrong.
The first time I tried to kill myself, I was 15. I waited until my family went away for the weekend, and I was alone in the house, and I swallowed a bottle of pills.
Recent studies have shown that autistic people are more likely to have mental health problems, like anxiety and depression, which might explain Wentworth's challenges as a teenager, and at the same time led his charge to become a leading actor.
When you're in survival mode, your focus is on getting through the day in one piece. And when you're in that mode at 5, at 10, at 15, there isn't a lot of space for words like community, for words like us and we.
Being autistic is central to who I am. Being diagnosed at the age of 49, Miller is currently looking into broadening his understanding of autism and re-examining decades of life experiences through a new lens.
Families who are put on wait lists looking for support services.
Still, Magro has words of wisdom for adults on the spectrum and urges those who think they might be to get diagnosed as soon as possible.
Despite that, the actor feels optimistic and relieved, and he writes, "This isn't something I'd change. Being autistic is central to who I am. Let me be to someone else what no one was to me." Last but not least, having lived decades and only receiving a diagnosis recently, Miller adds gratitude towards all the support systems and people who have helped him succeed. I also want to say to the many, many people who consciously or unconsciously gave me that extra bit of grace and space, who allowed me to move through the world in a way that made sense to me, whether or not it made sense to them, thank you.
Let me send a message to that kid. Maybe in America, maybe someplace far overseas, maybe somewhere deep inside. A kid who's being targeted at home or at school or in the streets, that someone is watching and listening and caring. that there is an us, that there is a we, and that kid or teenager or adult is loved. And they are not alone.
And that is all for now. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with all the people you know who may be suffering from ASD. Remember, First Choice Family Services is your information resource for the DSP industry.